What's up, Skid Marks? Welcome back to the Sunday Shoot. I'm glad you're here today. You know, everybody wants to talk about all the sexy shooting stuff, right? You know, transitioning, you know, pistol, rifle, tactics. Look, man, but no one talks enough about the fundamentals of marksmanship because it's not sexy. But it's literally the most important part of being a good shooter. The fundamentals are never going to change. It doesn't matter what situation you're in, what you're doing, what the conditions are. For you to get your rounds on target, you've got to maintain solid fundamentals. And so that's what I want today's Sunday Shoot to be about. We're going to go through fundamentals, stance, at least a few of them. Stance, grip, trigger press, and sight alignment, and I'm going to tell you guys which one of those four is ultimately, in my humble opinion, actually in my not so humble opinion, is the most important. That's what we're going to talk about today. Today's Sunday Shoot is brought to you by our partner at Barbell Apparel. You guys know Barbell has been a partner with us here at 307 Project for many years now. I have used Barbell Apparel in many different conditions, running ultra marathons, lifting weights, out on the range, you name it. They've got something for all walks of life and all different types of activities. Barbellapparel.com, they stand behind their products. They have a guarantee, a lifetime guarantee, and they're just awesome people behind the brand. So Barbell, thank you for making this Sunday Shoot possible. And if you guys want to support us and the channel here, one way that you can do that is by next time you need some good clothes, go check out Barbell Apparel and get you some. Let's get out here on the range and talk through these fundamentals. All right, so I could literally do probably a whole video on each of these fundamentals that we're going to talk about today, but for the sake of time and your attention span, we're just going to talk about each one from a pretty high level. So the first one we're going to talk about is stance. We train people out on the range a couple times a month usually, and you see all kinds of crazy stances out there. I mean, you see people, the target's right there, you see people trying to do this number, I mean, you see this number, you see it all, right? Stance, the way that I was taught, feet about shoulder width apart. Just don't lock your knees, all right? It's as simple as that. We don't want to be down in the squat position because, you know, our legs are going to get pretty daggone tired. So just don't lock your knees. Feet shoulder width apart. I like to square up with the target. That's the way we were taught in the SEAL teams because we have body armor. We wear body armor in the military, and we want to present our plates to the target. Now, if you want to offset your stance a little bit, you're not wearing body armor, I mean, yeah, you could get away with that, but it is what it is. So try to stand up nice and straight. And one of the things that I'm really bad about is when I actually draw my pistol and present my pistol, I want to bring my eyes down into alignment with the sights, and that just puts your head and neck in a really uncomfortable position. So part of your stance is just nice, upright, comfortable, kind of athletic, and bring your pistol up into alignment with your eyes. That way you're not getting your neck way out here like you guys see me do all the time. It's just bad habits, right? So stance, grip. We've talked about grip a lot. The grip that I use, inside hand, I try to keep this inside hand pretty relaxed. I mean, I'm talking about 20 to 30% of my grips coming from this inside hand. We're getting as high on the pistol as we possibly can. This beaver tail right here, you never want a gap between that web right there at your thumb and that beaver tail, even a small gap. We want to get as high on the pistol as possible because that's going to help us control the recoil. The closer we can get to the bore axis of our pistol, the better we're going to be able to control. The higher we can get on the gun, the better we're going to be able to shoot it. Outside hand, this is where most of my grip comes from. It's squeezing like this. I want that inside hand nice and relaxed so that I can have a nice smooth trigger press, which we'll talk about next. I'm squeezing here, again, all the way up as high as I can possibly get on that trigger guard, squeezing. And then the last little bit is when I press the pistol out, my palms are gonna come together. I don't want a gap in my palms right there. I wanna have those palms nice and tight together. That's the last little bit. And that pressure even kind of comes from your chest right there. All right, so that's a very high level grip. A little relaxed here, squeezing here, palms together as high as we can possibly get. So stance, grip, trigger press. This is the one that everybody freaking screws up. Now, we're using this DWX today, and what makes a high-end pistol is usually the trigger. It having a nice, crisp trigger pull, all right? So trigger press, we have a little slack in the trigger. We're actually gonna pull through that slack, and when we get to that wall right there, you gotta see how crisp that is. It's not gonna be like that on a Glock. You get to a nice distinct wall. Now that's where I'm gonna start my press at. And I'm just trying to, in my mind, put, especially starting out, if this is a new pistol to you, just incremental 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, all right, pressure on that trigger. Once you get used to the gun, you're gonna know when that trigger's gonna break, and you're gonna know exactly how much pressure it takes to get that shot to go. So you can definitely speed that up, but you gotta learn the trigger. Every pistol is gonna have a slightly different trigger, especially when you're talking about different manufacturers. The good thing about just having one pistol and shooting it all the time is you can really learn that trigger, get used to it, you know where it breaks, you know how much pressure it takes, and you can be nice and smooth with that. The last one is we're not even gonna talk about trigger reset, by the way. We're gonna, again, high level, we'll come back to that on another Sunday shoot. The last one is sight alignment. All right, so whether you're using iron sights or a red dot like we have on here today, this to me is the most important fundamental of marksmanship. Because if your sights are aligned on the target when the shot breaks, that is where your bullet's gonna go. Wherever those sights are, that's where the bullet's gonna go when the shot breaks. The reason we focus so much on trigger press is because what you guys are doing, the reason you're hitting low and left on your target, or you're missing your target completely, is you're anticipating that shot, and what you're doing is you're pulling your sights off the target right as the shot breaks. If your sights are aligned on the target when the shot breaks and you can hold them there, that's where the shot's gonna go. It doesn't matter. I can take everything else out of the equation, right? So we talked about all that stance. I can jack my stance up. I can jack my grip up. I can jack my trigger press up. I can screw all that crap up. And if my sights are aligned on the target when the shot breaks, I'm gonna hit the target every single time. If you see what I'm saying, that's why sight alignment is so important. All those other fundamentals that we talked about, what they're gonna help you really do is manage the recoil of the pistol and be able to shoot fast follow-up shots, right? Look at that. What's up with the DWX putting the old jam on me, son? Huh, that don't happen very often. So I wanted to demonstrate that for you guys. The reason sight alignment is so important, and the reason you're not hitting your target is because your sights are pulling off the target right as the shot breaks. It all works together, obviously, to be able to shoot accurately, shoot quickly, take follow-up shots, and all that good stuff, right? You gotta have a good stance, good grip, good trigger press so you don't pull your sights off the target, but if those sights are there, you're gonna be good to go. You guys hone in on these fundamentals, think about them, memorize them, and every time you go out on the range, you should actually start with a short session of dry fire where all you're doing is getting up on the line and saying, okay, is my stance good? Okay, is my grip good? Are my sights aligned? Now, let's focus on that trigger press and not allowing those sights to move when that trigger breaks, they stay in the same spot, the pistol doesn't move, and you should rep that a few times just thinking about that, all right? Other things, you've got breathing and you've got follow through. We're not going to talk about that on this video today. We'll talk about the importance of those two things sometime later on, but those are the ones that I really want to hone in on today and want you guys to practice and focus on. If you got anything out of this video, share it with somebody, maybe one of your shooting buddies, and hopefully it was a good reminder even for you guys that have been shooting all your life. The fundamentals never change. It's the foundation. I don't care if you're hanging upside down out of a helicopter, you have to align those sights, you have to press that trigger right, and it doesn't matter. You got to do it. So get out, practice them. Share this with somebody, drop us a comment, subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate it. Check out Barbell Apparel at barbellapparel.com. We'll catch you guys on the next Sunday shoot. Nuff said.